does it for Teams, right? Does it do it for Zoom?
Here, you do this part.
Although it is 10:30 right now, which is our scheduled meeting time, because of parking constraints and other items, I normally give us 4 or 5 minutes before I formally gavel the meeting to order. So I just am giving everybody a 4 or 5 minute warning. I will gavel the meeting to order at either 10:34 or 10:35.
We don't have any presentations today,
No, we do not.
so we should be done early.
Well, it depends.
Sense.
We have what could be lengthy presentation, Roman numeral 3 from Vice Mayor Burke. And,
That was just like update.
yes, okay, no, and,
Quick.
right, and, if Greg is here, we're making a presentation to Mayor Ross.
Well, Randy is presenting, are you presenting? No?
Okay, so again, we'll be starting in about 3 minutes or so. And can you put us back on mute?
I printed out something for you, but now I don't see it, so I'm gonna.
Yeah. Okay, the hour of 10:35 having arrived, and anybody that's going to be here should be here by now. I hereby call a meeting of the South Florida Regional Planning Council to order. Councilmember Kaplan, will you lead us in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Let's see, by the way, everybody knows about the big controversy in the pledge, whether it's supposed to be one nation, comma, under God, or one nation under God. There was a big controversy for a while.
I'm now informed.
Yes, I don't understand the significance of the controversy, but nonetheless, it was there.
Just the pause.
Yes. Okay. Let's see, when council member Ross appears. We supposed to be about an hour late.
And Councilmember Bailey is supposed to be.
Right. Okay. And can I ask who is calling the roll? Kathy? Kathy, can you call the roll, please?
Bailey? Kaplan?
Here.
Kate's?
Here. Here.
Here.
Garcia? Gilbert? Goldberg?
Here.
Portland? Here. Kaufman? Lincoln? McGee? Ross? Udine?
Here.
Davila?
Present over Zoom.
Wynn?
Present here.
Philliboy?
Here.
Peters? And Geller.
Here, I don't even need to ask if we have a quorum. We do. I believe. Do we have one in present?
The members that you have before you are not an executive committee. You have 1, 2, 4 present physically.
Okay, how many do we need?
Technically, you need more.
Okay, so we don't have a quorum because most of our attendees are attending virtually.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Can we? Yeah,
Okay, we could proceed as executive committee. I'm sorry.
I don't think we're taking any formal action.
Since we have,
Nothing.
since we have 6 members, if they're members of the executive committee, then we would have 3. If everybody here is made a member of the executive committee.
That was my next comment, but
Right.
I'll defer to my co-counsel.
Okay, if we're going to take any formal action, then we'll do it as an executive committee. We do need to take formal action, therefore, I forgot. Who here is not on the executive committee now? Am I the only one on the executive committee?
Commissioner Rowland.
Commissioner Horowitz is on the executive committee. All right, I hereby appoint Frank and Bean as temporary acting members. Oh, boy, that's a great title. Temporary
Only if we can jump right back off.
Yeah, okay, members of the executive committee.
Can we say pro tem as well?
Yeah.
Just for flavor.
Pro tempore, yes, okay. I will now ask for motion to approve the council agenda. Moved by Commissioner Kaplan, seconded by Commissioner Furr. All those, is there any debate? Seeing no debate, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, show the council agenda adopted. And I would like to remind our attorney that I've asked that our bylaws be amended whenever they get amended next
Yes.
to eliminate the requirement that we approve the council agenda at the beginning of each meeting. Council member Furr, can you give us an update on whatever you want to update us about? Do you know any good jokes?
I don't, but I can't update you like I'm. Isabel asked me to bring up both US 27 and
Yeah,
what's going on in solid waste stuff.
that would be great.
Septec, that's Palm Beach, Miami-Dade and us, had a meeting and, unanimously approved the idea to go forward with a study of putting rail on US 27, which is there was a study done back in 2008. And we asked for that to be updated and, reconsidered, passed unanimously. Both District 4 and 6 were at the meeting and talked, we asked them how long would it take, they said it would probably take about 2 years.
Who would own it?
Well, right now it's all state property, so the state would be having to, my guess, and maybe someone from DOT could let us know, but my guess is they would be leasing it out. They would have the leasing rights, that's what I was told the other day. So they'd be able to lease it out to whoever might need it, and then maybe it goes to numerous people. Might go to FEC, it might go to Waste Management, it might go to whoever needs it. Part of the reasoning behind it was, we've seen what Miami-Dade is doing now, they're taking the trash on train up the FEC. Ideally, they're taking it to the Okeechobee landfill. So if there was possibility of taking trash up the west side instead, and part of the reason is, you're gonna have all kind of passenger stations. You really don't want trash dripping through them. It's just not the best.
That's true. We prefer dripping in the Everglades.
Yeah, exactly. Driven somewhere else. But it's also, possibly, both ports have looked at, what are the benefits of having the inland port and having freight go up, US 27. And also taking freight off of the FEC, because if we're adding commuter rail up and down from Miami all the way to Jupiter at some point, then you need to make room for it. And taking freight off that allows for that. So there's lots of good reasons for it. This is something that, I don't think any of us will be around when it finally gets done. Who knows? I was reading this thing with Flagler when he was doing the railroad and how long it took. It took him, when they got to Fort Lauderdale, how long do you think it took him to get to Hollywood from there?
12 years.
2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
2 weeks. So we're spending 25 years to get from, it's unbelievable. I was amazed when I read that. But anyway, I digress. So the idea of getting all the freight over to US 27, trash over to US 27, would be, I think, a real benefit for all the counties. Now, this was brought up at the MPO the other day. The western cities immediately said, what about passenger over there? I have no idea. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Maybe it does. And then you got like a couple different ways of going there. That's something that will probably be asked to be studied in that. That would be pretty close to I-75. So who knows? But the fact that DOT has kind of blessed it, it's going into the MPOs. It's already been approved by SFTech. It's going into the MPO and the TPOs. 2050 plans. And they were supposedly already funded with funds that I don't know where exactly they came from DOT, but that's
Study.
yeah, the study, just a study. We had asked for first a PD&E, which is planning, design and stuff. They thought they could do this other way first and quicker. So it's more just the overall study and a kind of an update. So that's kind of where it is. I don't know, there's not much more other than that.
I have a number of questions and then I'll
Okay.
throw it up. And I understand that you probably don't have answers to
Yeah,
everything
right.
at this point, but question of who owns it is going to be, critical. Unless FEC owns it or operates it, FEC will never in a million years agree to take their freight. They're a freight company and they're never going to agree to take their freight off the line, however much we want them to, unless we're gifting them. Hey, we got this brand new track and since it's on state land, we'll own it. So like we do on Tri-Rail, so we'll pay for the maintenance and let you operate your trains on it. Well, that's a great deal for them, but anything else? I cannot possibly see FEC agreeing to, because why would they agree to stop doing freight
Now, I've heard FEC is very interested in this myself.
if they get to?
So obviously there's negotiations that would have to take place. If, you know, to the point where everybody's satisfied, or nobody's satisfied, yeah, you still go forward. My guess is that if there's a will, there's a way. I would think,
Okay.
and it becomes a matter of numbers.
Okay, the, other than the waste, which my understanding is Okeechobee, we were told, has what, 50 to 75 years? So, while of course train lines seem to be forever, and it's probably gonna be 10 years before it's built, if we're lucky.
Right.
You know, I'm not yet convinced that if the main reason for doing this is the garbage, it's not a good idea. If we can take if FEC will take the freight off of the eastern, their line and make that primarily rail down here, then it would make sense. But again,
Waste is, I mean, we're talking how much there is.
Yeah.
And you know what we're about, my next discussion is on the landfill. That's not a minor thing. That's a big, Miami-Dade is sending all of their trash by rail right now.
To where?
Up to Okeechobee,
what rail line?
the FEC,
Really?
yeah, all of their trash is going up there, all. And so you're talking about 5,000 tons a day. That's going up. So that's not a minor thing. Imagine how much time that takes. You know, everybody's waiting.
Is our landfill full? Their landfills are full.
Medley's not full entirely.
Right.
And the other thing, when you think about Medley, that is over there that would be more conducive to a US 27. You know, as is our landfill. If we were doing bulk waste or yard waste at the Broward County landfill, which is something we've been considering, that's right there, that would be right there. Now, the other study, and I failed to mention this, the other study of this is maybe it's not a railroad. Maybe it's a place where you do autonomous trucks, autonomous driving all the way up and down. And you don't maybe have to put a rail. You're seeing all throughout the United States. Amazon, they're working on doing autonomous driving with trucks.
Right.
And so maybe there's one where you just keep filling the trucks and they just keep going. And you'd have a dedicated lane just for that. So there's options there. And that becomes, maybe that becomes a trash answer.
The other issue is representing, you know, none of my district. It used to be none of my district was east of University. Now it's none of it's east of 441, but still represent western cities.
Right.
Davie, Southwest Ranches, and I've lost Weston, but
Right.
I don't think, just right now, I don't think we're passenger rail work simply because
Right.
they don't even want parking rides there for us.
Okay.
And since there's no downtowns in the west, it would have to be basically transferred. And to do that, they need much larger parking rides to make it passenger traffic worthwhile than they would for our bus, BRTs, and they're not willing to give us anything for that. We had to change our charter, as you will recall, in order to get space. And they're still fighting us over that, I believe, so.
And for the western communities, I think this is, I think one of the things with the solid waste authority, what we're looking at is trying to get by with our one waste energy plan. This is one of the ways you do that and not build one out there. So you would think that the western communities would be all in favor of that.
They also believe in the services ferry.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Back to that.
I'll tell you, if we just can get the services ferry on our side, we can solve a lot of these issues.
Yeah.
And Isabel could get her pony.
That's it.
Okay.
So that kind of goes right
Okay,
into,
wait, are there any other questions from anyone in the room on this topic for Commissioner Horman?
So Beam, I understand you in the study phase right now, but what have been the early discussions about environmental impacts, if there have been any?
That was
And when
the
we're
other-
talking about autonomous trucks, it seems like it would be less impactful that close to the Everglades and building the rail. Is that something the study's gonna take?
well,
into
I mean, it
consideration?
depends on, I mean, when you think of Brightline, it's being run on biodiesel.
Mhm.
I mean, solids, stuff like that. That's something. I don't know, but that's part, not.
That's part of the study, part of the study.
Wrong.
Yeah.
PC's trade.
Yeah, with biodiesel, I think.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
That's really-
That's pretty impressive. We were worried about that.
That would definitely, I mean, that's definitely gonna be a part of
Okay.
it. I mean, I think we all would want to see what what that means. Because it is a sensitive part of our county,
Mhm.
so, yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions from anyone in the room? If not, does anyone online have any questions for Commissioner Furr on this one limited topic? If not, is there anyone from FDOT online that would adapt? Is there anything that you can add to that or you'd like to add to that, Dat?
Yes, I just added the resolution from SEPTEC into the chat. It is for a multimodal study, which includes all modes because we just can't limit it just to the, I guess, the trash hauling, so that we can make sure that we can potentially acquire those right away. However, similar to any of the rail systems that we have, we need to find someone who will operate it. Similar to what we've done with Sun Trail Rail up north, as well as the Tri-Rail. So that's something that would have to be looked at as part of the study.
It would seem to me that the only operator that you could do is FEC if you expect to get the trash off the FEC rail line. You know, I've dealt with them for 30 years. They don't agree to anything, but if they do, it's only something that is to their advantage.
To the benefits, yes.
And they're freight line, they're not gonna give up hauling freight on FEC unless they can replace it on US 27, which means that they're the only operator that you can go with if the goal is to get freight off of the FEC line. And then they'll still make you pay to maintain their tracks.
So definitely there'll be, as part of the study, there'll be a lot more meetings and everything. So we'll make sure that we keep you updated.
Well, don't worry, I'll be long retired before then. Yeah, Beam, how many years has the county commission, you've been serving, I think, 4 years longer than me, 2 years longer than me. Yeah, 'cause I'm termed out in 4, you're termed out in 2. So I know that since I was elected, we've been negotiating with FEC for the aerial rights over US 1 by the airport. And I'm relatively confident that when you were elected, we were negotiating with them over that. And yes, and we're still negotiating with them. And as far as I can tell, no closer, but that's a different story. All right, if there's nothing else on this topic, Commissioner Furr, can you bring up the next topic?
And Dad, thanks for that. If you do hear anything of where, if there's a way of you kind of giving us progress reports on that, that would be great. Thank you.
Will do. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. The other thing that we are dealing with is the landfill. This is discussing a land use change at the county. And a vertical expansion of 100 feet. That would be in exchange for taking all the organics out of that and turning it into a dry landfill. Why are we doing that? We're doing that because now we know that landfills are the third main perpetrator of landfill, of greenhouse gases. And we don't want to keep doing that. So what Waste Management has agreed to was in exchange for that, they would be willing to take all of our source separated organics to Okeechobee and compost them up there,
Oh,
which is, that's a pretty big exchange. And to give you an example of what that means, the school board had discussions with the superintendent. They are talking about having all of their schools, all 250 some schools, have all of their breakfasts, all their lunch, all their utensils, all their food become compostable. Source separate all of it. All of that on a daily basis would go up to Okeechobee. We have
On the rail line.
on the rail, exactly. Well, ideally, it would be going on their trucks, and they're actually using methane that they capture from the landfill to run their trucks. So it becomes quite a circular economy on this. It's pretty good. That when we have 17% of our waste stream is food waste. A lot of it is at the schools. That's a lot of stuff. Cause you imagine that all of our kids every day eating their breakfast and lunch. So you take it, if we can take all of that, what we're trying to do is not have to build another waste energy plant. But if we may have to, but we won't know that until we start to take every possible way of dealing with our food waste, recycling everything we can, and going right down the line and doing it. I think the next step would be asking the hospitals to do the same thing. The next step would be asking the seaport, the airport, and right on down the line. And you keep asking each one, source separate this, and we can then deal with it. Because Waste Management won't take it unless it's source separated, because then you have a contamination factor. So if we can eliminate the contamination factor, they're willing to do that. That's in exchange for that expansion. We had quite a meeting the other day. The pitchforks were out.
Yes.
And I understand it, but it's I think we're trying to do right by those neighborhoods, by taking the smell, the stinky stuff out of it. We're trying to do right by the environment. We're trying to do right by on legacy issues. And when you look at big picture, I think it's pretty progressive.
If I can briefly interrupt. Commissioner, for those of you that are not familiar with this. Commissioner Furr, who by the way was viciously attacked at that meeting as being not in favor of the environment, when Commissioner Furr is, one of the, if not the strongest, I can't think of anybody that's
Yeah,
a
more
stronger
environmental.
environmental advocate than Commissioner Furr. And
Obviously, I can do that.
he has, yeah, because when you camp, you don't, I don't know what you're supposed to do while camping that the lady accused you of, but Commissioner Furr has really been, on the Lord's side, just has done so much work on this stinky, smelly issue of solid waste. And again, we have complimented him repeatedly at the county commission level. And I would like to do the same here again at the regional planning council level, because you really have been a wonderful leader in this area.
Well, I did get attacked pretty solidly on that day.
I don't feel bad, so did I.
But yeah, so you did too. But you know what? To the person's credit that actually said some of that stuff, they had done their homework on stuff. And it had to do with stuff that nobody knows what to do with yet, mainly the PFAS issues. And nobody knows how, and EPA hasn't figured out what to do with it.
See, it's coming from the rain now too.
We saw a thing in the Sun Sentinel today, PFAS coming from the winds from
Yeah.
far away. And it's like, yeah, you know what? We don't know what to do with it. And, one of her arguments was that we weren't dealing with that. Because, we're trying to deal with it on wastewater. Do we know how to deal with it in landfills? No, we don't.
We need
And
to know
neither
how
does
to deal with
EPA
it
and
in
neither does
our
anybody else yet.
wastewater.
Yeah.
By the
so
way, I'd like to welcome Commissioner Garcia on to the line. Commissioner, thank you for being here today.
Sorry for being a little late. I apologize for that, but I'm here. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, and I see former Chair Bailey also here. Commissioner Bailey, thank you for being here today.
So I understand when people are, you know, sometimes you can't do enough. And sometimes you're not in a position where we can do everything we want to do. And we're gonna have to, this is one where we're gonna be learning along the way. Forever. And we're always gonna be, you know, having to kind of catch up. But we can do the best we can.
Thank you. By the way, at that meeting, I think it was the same person that was yelling at you when I said it's impossible to get to zero waste. He was yelling out in the audience, calling me a liar, and she left before the police removed her because they were walking towards her to remove her when she got up to leave. It was a rough meeting, but Commissioner Furr, again, thank you for doing the
Sacrificial lamb.
the lack of gratitude that you receive is not from your colleagues, it's only from the unlearned. And also, let's see, Commissioner Kaufman, I believe, is also online.
Yes, he is.
Sam, thank you for being here. Again, we've got great attendance, just not here in person. Oh, Chair Bailey, okay, I did not know who was in person. Good to see you, okay. Are there any questions of any of the people here in the room on the solid waste issue for Commissioner Furr? Are there any questions?
Can I
Yes,
just ask,
Councilmember
are
Horgan,
they
you're
actually
recognized.
composting, at Okeechobee? Or they
No,
putting,
not
they're
yet.
not, they're just putting it in the landfill?
But they said they would be
But
willing.
they,
Because I know that was a question in Palm Beach County that a lot of the residents wanted them to actually compost. So they're just putting it in landfill.
they've done it before and it didn't work when they were doing it, but there's been lots of new ways of doing
Okay.
it. So they're willing to try it again.
Okay.
One of the problems with composting, which is one of the reasons, not the only one, that it's hard to get to zero waste, is people are thinking about backyard composting. There has never, Commissioner Furr, please correct me if I'm wrong, but my latest information is there is no place in the country where they are doing composting on the scale that we would need to do or that people are advocating for. Unless my data is wrong, Germany was the most, the country at 59%. That was the closest to using to zero waste. And that and although our goal in Florida is 75%, that 75% includes waste to energy, which the environmental group doesn't consider to be the recycling. So, and in fact, in Florida, I believe our current number is either in the 20s or 30s. And we think in Broward, we can get into the 50s or 60s, but it's hard to get to zero waste. And to get to composting, the people that don't like landfills, the smell of the composting would be far worse, plus it attracts critters.
So you
So,
need it for your farm.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of places in the country now. This is a pretty big movement now.
Yeah.
You're seeing it tried. Everybody's trying it.
right, but not on the scale that we.
There's a
need to
few,
be
but I
doing.
don't, but I haven't seen it exactly where.
I think you might look at Rhode Island, the whole state.
Oh, really?
I may be able to.
The whole state is the size of Hollywood.
It's not a big state, but they're trying to lead in novel ways.
So is New York City even?
No, Orlando had done something too, where they were collecting. from
A lot of-
restaurants.
a lot of-
Okay,
I suppose it's encouraging that the school population seems most susceptible to behavioral changes.
Yeah, ideally, what's so good about that is that's where, if we're gonna start our education efforts at all, with the solid waste authority, you do that and then you bring the kids and the kids shame the parents. Yeah, and hopefully it just kind of goes from there. And that would be the beginning of our entire educational efforts.
Right.
So,
if there are no further questions from the committee members, I was going to recognize them anyhow, but let me call on Lachlan Luck, who is the, regional manager for CFO Petronas. And Mr. Luck, I don't know if Commissioner, I've told you this before, if Commissioner Petronas or Treasurer Petronas recognizes just how great a job you do for him here in South Florida. I see you everywhere. You are the only representative of any of the cabinet members that I see anywhere attending meetings on a regular basis here. I'd like to thank you for attending our meeting on Friday and for coming to these meetings. You do a great job. And I understand you have a question or comment on this.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Geller. I just wanted to introduce myself. I've been in the meetings actually online, but I believe this is my first time actually in person. So it's a pleasure to meet those who are here in person. So for those who are online, my
I
name
think
is
you have been here
Love.
before. at
I'm
least
the
once.
regional manager for Florida Chief Financial Officer Jennifer Petronas. And my question was, and I do apologize for not having much work knowledge, but when we say 0% waste, what's that relative to? Like, what's considered zero?
That's the problem. The definitions differ depending on who's talking about them. The policy of the state of Florida is that getting to zero waste is not done anywhere in the world, but you have to reduce as much as you can. Now, the state of Florida considers waste to energy, that is burning garbage to generate energy, to be part of the zero waste. Many of the environmental community say no, because you're emitting, when you burn things, you're emitting things into the atmosphere. So that's not zero waste. They want it 100% recycling. It's not possible to reach 100% recycling. We can get in Broward, Commissioner for what, I think our goal was 70 maybe?
It's 75%. We got up to 60 at one point.
Yeah, so we can recycle more than we are, and we're working towards it, and our numbers, at least here in Broward, have been going up every year. But you can't, zero is impossible, and despite this, many of our constituents keep demanding that we do it through the use of the services very heavily.
If I may, is there a way, because I think you mentioned as far as the educational, but maybe for the general public, probably not just school age students, but a way to set the expectation as far as this is our goal, this is like the expectation of what we're trying to achieve, rather than saying, 100% recyclable.
Yeah, there will be, those efforts, first we expect to have the master plan presented and hopefully approved by mid-spring. So after that, you have to have a plan before you can start doing the education. Because we don't know if we're doing single stream, double stream, what can go in different bins, all that kind of stuff. So we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Once we're able to do that, then yes, we would be asking every city that's involved, as well as the county, to be putting all their education efforts. And we would have a budget to do that as well. Is that what you mean? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, more or less, as far as that's the execution, but I guess my question was more or less, what that number
What that number would be.
Yeah.
We're following what the state had was asking, which was 75%. They've kind of fallen back on that a little bit because it was,
Impossible to do.
well, it's not, well, they were getting there, Palm Beach actually got 80% this year, but that was with double bonus points with waste energy.
Yeah.
That's how they got there. If you're looking at just recycling, Palm Beach was at 51%. So
Which I
a
think is the best
realistic
in the
number,
state.
what's that?
I believe that was the best in the state.
That was the best in the state. So a real number is probably 50, if we get to 50% of that is a really good number. With waste energy, 50 turns into 80 because you get bonus points. I'm not sure it just is what it is. To your point of what other places like in Europe, and they get to their zero waste, but they do that by having a number of waste energy plants. And then the rest of that is they're able to recycle. So I think we would be saying something on the order of 50 to 60%. And then put that out there. You kind of want to say, I don't want to get ahead of myself on it, but because I want to see what they say, and the consultants in the master plan, but it'll be something along that.
And look, if you really want to get down this go down this extremely complicated rabbit hole. We can get you, we at the county have extensive files on, you know, waste to energy, recycling, our goals, our history, things like that. If you're interested in delving deeply into this, let me know. I can arrange for county staff to sit down with you and, you know, educate you as much as you want to be educated on this complex issue. Let me know, please. Okay. Are there any questions or comments for Commissioner Furr strictly on the solid waste issue from any of the attendees online? Are there any questions or comments from any of our online attendees for Commissioner Furr on the solid waste? Seeing none. Commissioner Furr, did you have anything to add on any other topic?
Thank you so much.
Okay, we still don't have a quorum. We're still one member short. Up in person. I don't remember what we've had more than 5 people here in person.
5 is gonna get you the right answer.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We now have 5, because we have 15 members that show up regularly or that are filling the seats. The end result is we believe there's 5 is that
Okay.
one third that the Senate bill
Okay, I
contemplates.
believe Commissioner Bailey has resigned, but he is also still immediately.
It's not effective until the next meeting.
Good, okay, so,
And Mr.
in that
Chair,
case,
and then for the record,
yes.
the statute they're referring to, it was codified as
Great.
it's 120.525. 1/3 physically must be present. I think we have 1/3 present today.
excellent, good, okay. I would like to, then move to. Okey dokey. Then I'd like to move to agenda, I'm sorry, after all your work, okay. Agenda item number 4, the action items, and first you have the minutes of the executive committee, the council meeting of September, and the October 21st council meeting. They've been distributed. Are there any additions or corrections in the minutes? Are there any additions or corrections? If not, is there a motion to approve the
So
minutes?
moved.
Moved by Councilmember Horowitz, second by Councilmember Kaplan. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, will those favorably signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, show adopted unanimously. Financial report.
We have 3 sets of minutes.
Yes, we adopted all.
Oh,
Yes.
that was great.
We're efficient.
Thank you so much.
What?
It was a
Yes.
complete motion.
I read all
Thank
3.
you very much.
Yes, I can do that.
Sorry, I lost the train. The train.
Well,
Good morning,
you're
everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You guys are doing as fine as I am, and we have good news here. So after finishing the first month of the fiscal year, you go to the first page of your report, you will see that revenues, we've achieved 49% of our annual budget in just 1 month. That's where the collections, and that's due to the membership dues being collected all in 1 month.
Thank you.
So revenues are at $1,506,290 out of $3,092,722 for the fiscal year. Our expenses are at 11% of the annual budget at $330,587. That's at 8.33 of the fiscal year lapse. If you go to page 2, you will see all the funds there in our balance sheet. Our general fund has increased its assets in $1,043,843, as well as liabilities and fund balance. Federal, state, and local funds have increased their assets in $114,497, as well as liabilities and fund balance. The revolving loan funds have increased their assets in $3,840, as well as liabilities and fund balance. And the Southeast Florida Regional Prosperity Institute has increased its assets in $2,668, as well as liabilities and fund balance. As you can see, there's nothing receding here but my hairline, so we're in good hands. Thank you, Isabel.
as the chair, I would like to object to people like you talking about receding hairlines. Are there any questions? Are there any questions for Leo? Seeing no questions. is
I'll
there
make a motion to approve.
I forgot I was about to chat with Commissioner Udine, who I always check with on any financial issues because of his outstanding brilliance in this area and the fact that he served on the bank board for so long.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Moves approval, seconded by Commissioner Furr. We'll make it an all-Broward commission. Although, is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, show the financial is adopted. We are now on comp plan amendment reviews. I will ask our attorney to first read the proposed comp plan amendment reviews.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Public hearing.
Senator Chair Geller, item number 4 under proposed is a proposed county number 24-04 ESR. Next up for the record is Monroe County 24-04A CSC, the City of Lighthouse Point 24-01 ER, and the City of Marathon 24-01A CSC. These, for the record, are all public hearings. And for the record, further, they're proposed and not yet finalized, but are available for consideration. If anyone came out today to speak for or against any of the items before the commission, they have the right to speak today.
Thank you. Public hearing on the proposed comp plan amendments is now open. Is there anybody in the room that wishes to testify or speak on any of these items? Is there anyone in the room present who wishes to speak? Seeing none. Is there anyone online who wishes to speak on any of these items? Is there anyone online who wishes to speak on any of these items? Seeing none, public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion? Commissioner former Chair Bailey moves to approve, seconded by Commissioner Furr. All those in any debate, seeing no debate, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, show the proposed adopted unanimously. I will ask our attorney now to read the adopted
Thank you.
comp plan amendment.
Thank you, Senator Chair Geller. Next up is the adopted items, which are as follows: the City of Margate 24-01 ESR, the City of Plantation 24-01 ESR, and last but not least, the Town of Southwick Ranches 24-02 ESR, all of which are public hearing items. Members of the public who came today to speak for or against the applications of any one of the three have a right to speak legally under the statute. Otherwise, that's the public hearing required.
Thank you, Mr. Warren. Public hearing on the adopted comp plan amendments is now open. Is there anyone in the room that wishes to speak on any of these items? Is there anyone present in the room that wishes to speak on any of these items? Seeing none. Is there anyone online who wishes to speak on any of these items? Is there anyone online who wishes to speak on any of these items? Seeing none. Public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion? Moved by adoption by Councilmember Kaplan, seconded by Councilmember Horwood. All those in favor, discussion, seeing no discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed. Show the comp plan amendments adopted. Public hearing, regional issues, comp plan amendments, review none, SED's annual report. Mr. DeShazo, welcome.
Good morning, all. All right. Each year, the South Florida Regional Planning Council prepares an annual update of the comprehensive economic development strategy. As you know, at the last meeting, I provided that update, a PowerPoint presentation. We need to belabor it this year, or this particular meeting again. So I'll just hit on a couple of highlights. The purpose of what we're doing today is to ask you to authorize the staff to transmit the SEDS document to EDA for final approval.
Have we received any comment?
We have not received any comments. We're not anticipating receiving any more comments until the very end of the comment period on Thursday. And as a consequence, I'm asking you to go ahead and go to accept the report.
Okay, subject to the not receiving any additional comments. If we receive additional comments, that could require an amendment. So let me ask our attorney, can we, I'm not completely comfortable with, say, letting staff know on their own that they can make changes to the report if they do receive public comment. Can we make a motion that the staff and the executive director and the chair can authorize that we would adopt it subject to not receiving any comments? And if we do receive comments by the deadline, which is this Thursday, then authorize the staff and the executive director and the chair to amend the report to deal with the public comments, or would we need an actual meeting?
The short answer is a yes, to the extent possible, that you can make it essentially a conditional approval, subject to the conditions you just described. If there are public comments that need to be addressed in any way, shape, or form, the delegation by this motion would delegate to you that authority, which gives you the position of making that decision theoretically.
What I would like to do, if I can, and I would ask for a motion to this extent, is that if we are going to make changes based on any comment, that staff will send this out to the SFRPC members. And if give you 5 business days, when is it due?
We have to submit it on the 21st.
Of November?
Friday.
Before December first. The deadline to the EDA is before December first, but it's
Okay.
Thanksgiving week, so everybody will be out, just something to keep in mind.
Okay, well, everybody, are you all off the entire week?
I leave that up to staff to decide whether they want to use their personal.
Okay, well, here's what I'm hoping we can
We've
do.
never
'cause,
received comments on
Never.
this thing.
If we don't, then there's not a problem, but if we do receive, I mean, the comment period doesn't end until this Thursday.
That's it.
So if we get any comments by Thursday, I'd like staff to send them out on Friday
Absolutely.
to all of the SFRPC members.
It won't be a problem.
No,
We
what-
will be able to
okay,
get the
right,
comments
what
back.
I'd ask you, Randy, is to try and contact me, let's try and look at this on Friday. And on Friday, send out, only if there's comments,
Yes.
proposed changes.
Correct.
Send that out on Friday and give people till Tuesday to return them, to object, and if you don't object, then on Tuesday at 5 o'clock, they're being mailed. Good, I'm glad you moved it, because I don't want to repeat that.
Mr. Chair, not to put a wet blanket on the sunshine law issue,
Yeah.
but when you be mindful of the fact that when you seek the vote or input of your colleagues on an item which requires public consideration, their votes need to make sure that they're,
I'm not asking for their votes,
that's what I wanted to clarify. You're
right?
not
I'm just asking for if there's any comment
correct.
on this.
It's not a vote.
I will decide, but I'm gonna do what, if there's
And-
reasonable comments, yeah.
And as a delegate of the motion that's being made, you delegate to you decision-making powers, that would become a public meeting if there was a decision to be made.
I'd be meeting with myself.
However, we have the delegation of the board, which gives you that authority, which makes it public. I think it's that.
It's a public hearing if I'm meeting by myself in my bathroom.
If the authority delegates to you the authority to make a decision, yes.
Okay. I will, in the event this is
Without-
necessary.
You can choose to look at it differently, but
Yes.
that's what the law, that's telling us.
Okay, I will have a public hearing at 4 AM
Not wasting.
in my bedroom. I will sleep through it, but that will be the public hearing, okay?
All right.
All right. Moved by Councilmember Bailey, seconded by Councilmember Fur. As you can see, we're trying to give the SFRPC maximum input, understanding that we have deadlines. Okay, and unless we get comment by Thursday, Friday, it's being mailed to EDA. All right, moved, seconded, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, show the extremely complicated motion adopted. Thank you.
I suppose if you do need a public hearing, you
Yes.
just have to notice it. That's
Yeah, right, but it's me. Okay, I meet with myself all the time.
Yes.
Okay, by definition, all right. As part of the SFRPC 2025 meeting schedule, because I don't see any other place on here, I'm going to go over, our last meeting, which was this past Friday.
Mhm.
It was a wonderful meeting. Council, let's see, Locke, what did you think?
I was there, I believe this is the second time that you had it at FAU.
Yes,
And I would say it's very informative. The issue about senior citizens is important. For those who may not know, one of the departments that the CFO oversees is the Department of Financial Services. And so we know that seniors or individuals who are 65 years old usually gets targeted when it comes to fraud, insurance fraud, poverty, any type of insurance. And so understanding other issues, impacting that community was actually, something that, this puts in mind that we can't forget that particular, community. I know myself, I'm a millennial, and, quick story, I was helping my mom, with my grandpa who passed away several years ago. And I realized everything she had to go through just to take care of, my grandpa. And I have to say that, it is something that, my generation is gonna have to, be mindful of as we get older. And so I just want to say, thank you for doing stuff like that. I think that was very, impactful. Hopefully, everybody that attended, was able to use the information.
Thank you.
We had experts top experts attending. As I was leaving the meeting, had to be at least 8 or 10 people to stop me just saying what a great meeting it was. Like all of you that are elected, I also had meetings on Saturday morning and Saturday evening. Saturday morning was Town of Davie Centennial. Saturday evening was the Diwali Festival at the Convention Center. I spoke at both of those. I had people that had attended the conference come up and say how wonderful it was. Staff, I've already written to you telling you what a great job I thought you all did. This was a wonderful conference. Isabel, do you have any additional, by the way, the Maid Sun Sentinel, and I will read one quote from me in here. If you aren't being kept up at night by the impending silver tsunami, then you aren't paying attention. I simply don't know how people born in the 40s are ever going, people who are currently in their 40s are ever going to retire or younger, because only 11% of private sector employees have pensions today, and the majority of them are union members. And the famous three-legged stool of retirement, pension, well, if so few people have pensions, that's not a great leg. Private savings, Social Security, I assume Congress is going to do something and is not going to cut benefits now. They may increase the age, which candidly may need to happen, because when Social Security was set up, the majority of the population didn't live to 65. But today the average age is much older, but I don't think they're going to cut existing benefits. But so many younger people have jobs that are 1099, they're members of the gig generation, and they're not paying Social Security on their wages. So they're not going to get much out of Social Security. And I keep, as a county commissioner, Commissioner Furr has heard me say this, emphasizing the distance between average and median wages when people come in and they're asking for economic incentives. On average, everybody in this room and everybody online and Elon Musk, on average, we're all billionaires. But on median, we're not. And the average amount of retirement savings is give or take 600,000, but the median's only 100,000, meaning 50% of less than that. So I just don't know how people are ever they're gonna have to work till they die, and we're cutting our social services safety net, not increasing it. So I just don't know how we're gonna survive, how people are ever going to be able to retire. So it's a huge problem. Isabel, do you have any comments on this wonderful
Yes,
conference?
thank you so much. I just want to thank staff again for their hard work. I want to thank you for your leadership on convening the original meeting that we had over the summer to bring together a little core group where it all brought up. But remind everyone, this was a meeting of the Treasure Coast Regional Planning Council. So, and it was at FAU, because they hosted. Next year, it will be our turn to host. So there's time to think about the topic. I imagine we talked about a little bit about water, probably a topic we'll want to tackle. I also want to thank the council members who attended. Councilmember Orland, Councilmember Kaplan was able to attend.
And his wife.
Councilmember Gates won the I traveled the furthest to attend award coming from Monroe County. And
How about that,
Yes,
Councilmember?
he did.
And stayed for key takeaways.
Yes, he did. Councilmember Lincoln was on her way, but she had something that came up and she wasn't able to come. She sent some regrets. It's extended to today as well. So, no, it's really good. I'm so happy it's over. At least this part. Now actually the true work begins of the follow-up. I know you're gonna have some conversations with Professor Antonelli.
Yes,
If it's possible, I'd like to listen in with staff so we can do our next steps.
How did we find her? She was terrific.
This is her niche and found her actually through Senator Geller's office, Jackie. I want to thank also Jackie, Senator Geller's office, Barbara Kopic as well. They really, they deserve chocolate. They really do. They go out of their way. They make
from
phone
Isabel, that's a
calls.
high praise.
That is,
Chocolate.
because these are good chocolates.
Like nightly.
Yes. So, no, it was really great. And, I think everybody was pleased. And I also just publicly want to thank our sponsors again. AARP was a sponsor at the program. United Home Healthcare was also a sponsor. And the American Planning Association Treasure Coast gave planning credits as well. And we had, Florida Poison Control Centers there, Smart Partnership. So it was good all around. So now it's the wedding's over now.
When can we look for the slides to be?
They're being collected now. I know the pictures are coming in. I think we may, Aralda, do you know the slideshows? There weren't many slides. We actually discouraged some of the slides. Randy's slides can be posted up.
Yeah, Randy's.
Right away.
Right information.
We did video record the whole conference, so that's gonna be posted up. I imagine it'll be chopped into segments or something. But yes, no, it was very good. Very good. And
It was
thank
good
you.
to be with Dad in person.
Yes, and we had a great show from our FDOT. They had like their own table. That was there, Shireen was there, Victoria Peters, our new ex officio member was there, so. Yes, it was great. Very nice. I got nothing else.
Okay, are there
Randy was a superstar. He gave a great,
Was.
he depressed everybody right the first hour of the meeting.
Yeah.
Demographics.
Great.
But one of the things that I was following up, will be following up with Professor Antonelli on, that I had discussed at the meeting. I don't know if this is feasible, but several states, I think about 20, have set up their own retirement plans because all the data indicates that when people have availability of an employer-based plan, that savings go way up. Now, what I have been exploring for a couple of years is the possibility of either Broward going alone or Broward joining with Dade and Palm Beach to set up a county-based retirement plan. This would not be a pension. It would only be a defined benefit. And it would, all that the county would be doing would be providing the infrastructure so that the employers, Joe's Pizzeria, would not have to go through Fidelity and try and deal with all of the paperwork. They could simply contact the county and the county would say, great, here's your plan through Fidelity, T-Row, whoever the county contracts with, Vanguard, whatever. And it would cost the county some money just for administrative overhead, but not vast amounts. For either Dade or Broward, Dade's population is about 2.6, 2.7 million. Broward's is around 2, Palm Beach is around 1.5. Either Dade or Palm Beach would be the 37th largest state. Between right behind New Mexico, which is 2.7 million population. Then after that, it goes down to like 1.8. So either of us would be the 37th largest state. If you combine the 3 counties, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach, we move up to 17th largest state, right around the size of Missouri, or I forget the other state. I think yes, I believe it's Missouri and Maryland. So we would have the population base to do it. I'll be exploring details with Broward staff and then see if Dade or Palm Beach have any interest in joining if this works. There's any additional questions and comments on the conference before we move on? Seeing none, Isabel, can you discuss the 2025 meeting schedule?
Yes, sir. Council members, please find on your computer, your app, on my paper, the schedule for next year. Please just note, please take a look. If there's any conflict or anything that you see, please let us know sooner as opposed to later. I'm already speaking with Tom Lanahan, the Executive Director of Treasury Coast, to identify the joint meeting date for March, because that will be the joint council meeting date, where we typically discuss legislative proposals that we want to move forward. So if you have any ideas for legislative proposals that are issues that are regional in nature, please let us know in advance so we can work with our chairs and you know, and the Treasury Coast to figure out what we want to do with that. I think Vice Mayor Bird, the whole idea of the water board, remember we were talking about water infrastructure. I think that one.
What Doug was trying to do?
Yeah, I think that one will come back, of course, and we'll know more on coral reefs and other things as we move forward with topic meetings between now and then. We have to schedule a Miami-Dade meeting. I just sort of penciled in May 19th. Our next meeting is going to be in beautiful Monroe County at the Murray Nelson Government Center in Key Largo. It's on January 27th because the third Monday is Martin Luther King. That's where it pushes us forward. And that's it. That's we have right now. We'll also be penciling in a joint conference date. And as soon as we catch our breath, I guess we'll start having to work on that because it's our turn to host. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Okay. Remember, I will no longer be chair at this time, but remember, we have been having highly successful both SFRPC conferences and joint conferences where we dealt with major issues affecting South Florida and have been bringing a lot of attention to the SFRPC. And these are on our agenda, and hopefully we will continue to meet on those, to do that. Okay, good. Let you see. Okay.
Yeah, he's done.
Great, gotcha, okay. So, and I will ask if anybody has any suggestions for topics. We've dealt with property insurance. Luck, were you at the meeting that we dealt with property insurance? I need, if you stay till the end, I need to go over with you what we did there. And did we tape that?
That was a treasure
Right.
meeting. Aralta, do you recall the joint council meeting or anybody? Was the joint council meeting taped? I believe so.
For the insurance?
Yes,
The,
I believe
I'm
so.
not sure. I'll ask Stephanie though. It was at their.
yes, it was at
It
their,
was
it
at
was
the
at their,
TPA, the transportation planning.
okay.
We'll figure it out.
We'll
I'm pretty
see.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we try to always figure those things.
Okay, and we've dealt with solid waste, we've dealt with recycling, we're gonna be dealing with water. In some fashion, property insurance, we've done a lot of major topics. So, if you have other major ideas on conferences, please let us know sooner rather than later. In reference to the appointment of the nominating committee, I will appoint one. We just realized that we need to have one in person. So I will appoint one and we will meet in the near future. Let me announce if there is anyone either present or online,
Thank you.
that wishes, yes.
We have to vote on the schedule.
Yes, we do. We
Oh,
need
yes,
to be
okay.
in adopt.
Very good, thank you. Is there a motion? I didn't realize there's a motion to approve the schedule,
Yeah.
moved by Councilmember Horowitz, seconded by former Chair Bailey. Discussion, seeing no discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, show the calendar adopted. So in reference to the nominating committee, if there is anyone present, either in person or online, that wishes to be elected to the to one of our positions, we anticipate, can you call that back up?
Right, we'll be filling in the secretary.
Okay, I know, well, we anticipate that we will be,
Did you want to?
no, just the list of our current officers. Although we don't know this is up to the nominating committee, but we anticipate that the nominating committee will be moving all of the officers up and thus creating a vacancy, thank you, in the position of secretary. So what we assume will happen is Councilmember Lincoln will, from Monroe County, and the counties are important, will move up to chair. Senator Garcia will move up to first vice chair. Councilmember Goldberg will move up to second vice chair. So we'll have one from Monroe, one from Dade, one from Broward. Then Councilmember Horland, two from Broward, will move from secretary to treasurer. And there will be an opening in secretary, which ideally would be somebody from either Dade or Monroe counties trying to maintain or balance. So if there's anybody online or in present that would be interested in getting into the chairs and that has the current intention of being eligible, meaning if you're an elected officer, you're not termed out. But, you know, obviously you may choose to retire or you may be defeated, but assuming that you're not termed out in the next 3 years or so, and you have any interest, I would ask you to please notify either the executive director or our general counsel. Do not notify me directly.
That's right.
I can't talk to you, but please notify either the general counsel or the executive director in the next week of your interest in so serving. Councilmember Bailey.
This is like a comment, you'll move to meeting past chair, which is a voting member on the executive committee, which adds a third slot for Broward.
Right, to which why I'm saying it should really be somebody from Dade or Monroe. Okay, and I don't know the date of the nominating committee because it came up today and I kind of thought we'd already done that. Let's now move on to the revolving loan fund. Mr. Tart, quick update.
Morning, council members. As the senior loan officer and manager of the revolving loan fund programs, I'd like to share a few brief updates on our revolving loan fund programs for the month of November. In regards to the CARES Act, or that program to date, the program provided $7.78 million to 36 businesses with all borrowers current and in good standing. Loan administration is in the process of closing a previously approved $500,000 loan to Renaissance Riviera Beach and Community Partners of South Florida for affordable housing services. Currently, the program has approximately $585,000 in available funds as a result of successful loan repayments. In regards to the traditional ROF program to date, this program has provided $5.68 million to 28 businesses. Loan administration's in the process of closing the previously approved loan to the Housing Foundation of America and tie-in alliances in the amount of $470,000 for affordable housing residential services. Currently, the program has approximately $675,000 in available funds and continues to actively network and outreach to prospective small businesses in the region. I'm proud to announce last month, the SFRPC's revolving loan fund program was honored with a legacy award by the Minority Business Development Agency. Programs administered by M. Gill and Associates as a leader providing capital and technical resources to small and medium-sized businesses in South Florida. Lori Gill is also an RLF board member and a true partner to the SFRPC in this endeavor. Goran Charov, along with the Johnson and Selma Law Firm, continue to represent the SFRPC in the ongoing election efforts related to the Angela Dawson PA.
And that's all that will be discussed on that case.
Yes. Just a quick update, in early October, the SFRPC did receive notice of a proposed settlement for Ms. Dawson. The SFRPC, along with legal counsel, provided a counter offer on November 5th. And which has been accepted by Ms. Dawson, and legal counsel will provide any further updates regarding this. I wish to thank Sam Gorin and his team for their dedication in providing legal expertise as it relates to this litigation. Further details can be found in the attached RLF status report. Tomorrow at 10 a.m., the RLF administration team, in conjunction with the Clean Cities Director, will be hosting a webinar and providing financial and technical resources to small businesses that support the Clean Cities Initiative in South Florida. A flyer has been included in your board packages, and we cordially invite all board members to attend. The keynote speaker will be Daniel Sixay. He's the chief staff from East Tennessee Clean Fuels Program. And Daniel will be discussing available federal grant opportunities for small businesses, as well as highly successful grant writing techniques to help win Clean Cities grants and awards. If you're unable to join the webinar, a recording of the webinar will be available to all council members. And finally, an update in regards to the SFRPC's Brownfields Cleanup Initiative. Back in June 2024, the EPA announced that the SFRPC secured an additional $3.5 million in supplemental funding to help address the cleanup of the former public works site, which was the former incinerator in Dash Dump in Hollywood, Florida. That was Commissioner First District into affordable housing and commercial space, as well as the contaminated cleanup of Port Pepper Park in North Miami. That's Commissioner Steen's district. Both projects commenced their initial planning and cleanup, and the SFRPC will provide project reports throughout the duration of the cleanup. In September, we provided a project update in Port Pepper Park. This month in your packages, we included an update on the Habitat for Humanity of Key West and the Lower Keys project, which has been included in your board packages. The SFRPC, along with Stantec Environmental, helped coordinate the assessment efforts needed by both the EPA and the Florida Department of Environmental Protection. Separately, the SFRPC will be pursuing a additional $1.2 million for a new coalition assessment grant in 2025, with a focus on assisting the Alapata Collaborative, the South Florida Community Land Trust, and the City of Miami. And those are Commissioners Hardman and Regalato's districts. And finally, I'm proud to announce the SFRPC's program for Brownfields Revolving Cleanup was honored by the National Association of Development Organizations, Alice Ann Wolbrook Impact Award for 2024. Thank you again for all your support. We're making a big impact in our communities.
Thank you, Ms. Charter. Are there any questions of from either anyone in the room or online of Mr. Charter? Are there any questions? If not, is there a motion to approve the revolving loan fund status reports?
Udine, so moved.
Moved by Commissioner First, seconded by Commissioner Udine. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Show the matter adopted unanimously 1-0. No, strike the 1-0 part. Since I want to do this before members start to leave, we are going to revert to item number 1A, recognition of council member, well, we're skipping council member Ross because he's not here, council member Bailey upon his retirement. And then we will revert to the rest of our agenda. But like I said, I know we lose a lot of people and I want to do this before we lose people. Councilmember Bailey has been a member of this group for a long time. He has been a member of the South Florida Regional Planning Council from 2013 through 2024 and was one of my two predecessors as chair. Both Mayor Levine Cava and Mayor Bailey were predecessors because I served as chair of two different non-consecutive terms. Councilman Bailey was chair in 2021. He also served on the FRICA board, Florida Regional Planning Council Association, for 10 years from 2014 to 2024. Had a very distinguished career as chair, and I would like to read to everyone the presentation. We have two former Chair Bailey, Mario Bailey, South Florida Regional Planning Council, Council Member 2013, 2024, SFRPC Chair 2021, FRICA Policy Board Member 2014, 2024. With the Council's gratitude and sincere appreciation for your public service, dedication, and many contributions to regional collaboration and the South Florida Regional Planning Council, from me, Chairman Steve Geller, November 18th, 2024. And Isabel believes that this is also worthy of chocolate.
First, I want to say it's been an amazing journey, serving in the council. We've seen the office move to another location, a second executive director, 3 county mayors. So it's been, a cool journey. 2 years ago, I stepped in another role, but then developed a solution that I'm traveling about 85% of the time now, so I'm not in Florida as much. And so I felt it was not fair to the council for me to continue and not be present in the meetings. I hate I'm gonna miss the Monroe County meeting. That's always one of my favorites to have down. So, but it's been a pleasure to work with the entire council, for the members that are no longer here, and our steady hands, the staff, and our long-term serving council. So thank you all.
Thank you. Okay, we'll take the photos as soon as we are done. By the way, and and former Chair Bailey did bring up that our next meeting is in Monroe County. The reason it is in Monroe County is subject to the nominating committee and everything we expect. The chair will be Councilmember Lincoln from Monroe County, and we think it'd be nice to, have the meeting where she's elected in her home county, so she wants to bring anybody she can.
It's always a great trip.
Right, to revert, and we're meeting in Hawks Cay, I understand.
That's right, that would be your next director. My mom, they're basically all saying, never do anything you don't want in a newspaper headline. I
Right.
remember those headlines when they used to come out. So.
Okay, while you're speaking, we're on numeral 6A, which is Executive Director's Report.
Yes, thank you. So I'm pleased to let you know that we actually did win 3. We were awarded 3 NADER awards. NADER is the National Association of Development Organizations. It's a group of economic development groups. So we won 3 awards this year for the South Florida Military Installation Resilience Review work. The Brownfields Revolving Loan Fund, you just heard Jeff's great report and the work that's being done there, and also with the Clean Cities Coalition. With the Brownfields, well, I meant to say, with the South Florida Military Installation Resilience Review, we met, I think, I don't know, the weeks blur, but very recently, we met with the Office of Local Defense Community Cooperation, which is the grant partner that we had for the MIRR study. So now we're working on implementation projects and working with the installations to get some projects out. Christina's doing a great job leading that effort with support with Haley and Marion. And so we hope to have some projects sorted out to give to Bill before the end of the year to see if we can get some money down here in a variety of different areas. I'm pleased to welcome Victoria Peters from FDOT District 4. As you know, we have 2 representatives from DOT because we have District 4 and District 6. We have DAT in District 6, and we've been helped by Kent Walia in 24, and now Victoria's coming in. He's gonna be assisting. Ken promised me that he wasn't gonna leave entirely, but Victoria Peters will be released. There you go, thumbs up. Victoria's the transportation planning manager, so we're delighted to welcome her to the board as an ex officio member. I have, sadly, I have the news to tell you that Alex Santana, who was doing such a great job for us, went to work for the Miami Foundation as an assistant to the president CEO, because it's like 3 minutes away from his house, where this is not. Yeah, so he's made many great
Good reason.
contributions. Yeah, no, I understand. But nevertheless, I was sorry to see him go. We were all sorry to see him go, because he did great work, but I'm sure he'll be doing great work. But he lives in Key Biscayne, so it's understandable. That drive will get wear on anyone every day, right? I think those are pretty much my updates for today, Chair.
Good, because I like to have my meetings on time. We have 5 minutes.
Right.
Sam Gordon.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator Geller, for the record, without getting into great detail, we have the parameters for a resolution of the Dawson matter, as was described earlier in staccato format by
Oh, there's Victoria.
Good.
Oh, sorry. My apologies.
Okay, no. And to that extent, we will coordinate with our outside counsel as well as with the chair and others to hopefully bring this to a landing at some future time in the very near future with both Isabel's assistance and with Jeff's assistance. I think we've made some progress since the last meeting, and hopefully we'll find a way to get to the end of this discussion and move on from there. So thank you all. I can answer any questions offline if you would also appreciate it, but happy to respond soon when we get to the next.
Okay, and please thank the other law firm. I forget their name. That's the ones that do the, yeah.
Johnson,
Johnson, or some of the ones that do the work for the League of Cities. Okay.
And I'm here.
Yes. Are there any council member comment? Yes, Richard Bailey.
The state of Florida has, I think, received or submitted the report for the home energy rebate program. It's gonna be massive for the state of Florida. I encourage the council to really work with the state, be a partner, because it can really impact seniors for their energy costs.
Thank you. All right, yes, Councilmember Kaplan.
Just thank you, Mario, for navigating me around Tallahassee. I learned a lot in your company. I appreciate that. I've been invited to summarize the presentation from Friday for our senior programming person in our village.
In 30 seconds.
I'm gonna try to collapse this into a 45-minute presentation. If I could lean on you to help me do that.
Absolutely, and Randy too, please.
Yeah.
And feel free to call me.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's it.
And I'll
Anyone else?
take 5 seconds to say, we're gonna do a town hall in City Plantation based upon Friday's topic.
Oh, wow,
I'm really looking for an opportunity for senior housing, affordable senior housing.
that's great.
So I'll need a little help too.
You have
Feel
it.
free to call me, and
And
I speak in Plantation multiple times a year anyhow. I represent most of the city, as you know. Where do you, am I your commissioner?
not anymore,
Hmm. Pity.
darn redistricting.
Yeah. Okay. I said represent most, not all.
It's out.
It's gotta be Hazel, because she and I, by the way, your name
It's like
is
a
really
street over.
pronounced Hasley.
Hasley.
Yes, I asked her, is it Hazel or Hazel? And she goes, it's actually Hasley, but nobody
We
calls
all
me
have it
that.
wrong.
So I'm calling her that. Okay. And everybody says, who's that? Okay, are there any other questions or comments? If not, ex officio, Jack, you're up. Jack, do you have anything?
Yes, good afternoon, or good morning, everyone. Again, a great conference. I just want to announce that the FDOT District 6 will be holding the work program public hearing. There's going to be an in-person and a virtual component. Again, to present the District 6, which is Miami-Dade and Monroe County, the 5-year work program. That's going to be held on Wednesday, December 4th. And I'll send you it's going to be in person at the FDOT District 6 auditorium and virtually. So I'll send you the link for the virtual meeting. That's all. Thank you. And again, it was great conference and talking to our fellow council member Kaplan, so in person. So thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you. Can I ask either Kent Walla or Victoria Peters from District 4 to speak?
So Victoria.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Victoria Peters. I'm the Transportation Planning Manager at District 4. I wanted to introduce myself. I'm very happy to be here with you folks, even though it's virtual. I also thought the Silver Tsunami event last Friday was spectacular. I want to applaud you all. That was really, really a great event.
Terrifying, but spectacular.
And I wanted to echo that as well, excuse me, that District 4 is holding their public hearing also at their auditorium on Commercial Boulevard. I can send you the information on December 10th. It is in person, and I will send out more information. I think it's also virtual, so it's Tuesday, December 10th. And that's for our draft tentative work program to kick that off. We'll also be going out to the MPOs, I think in some of the TACs as well, to do some short presentations. So we're looking forward to that. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Are there any questions for FDOT? If not, I'd like to call on Cyrena Davila from DEP.
Hi, guys. Great thumbs up for your conference last week. Very relevant topic for the area and the entire state, really. It was a joy to be there. I learned a lot. And so great job on that. But I have nothing else for the group.
Thank you, Kim. And finally, Armando Villaboy from South Florida Water Management District.
Good morning. Nothing to add this meeting, other than we did have a ribbon cutting for C-139 equalization basin. For those of you that are following the Everglades Restoration Strategies projects, that is complete, and that basically ends the construction phase of those strategy projects. So just wanted to add that. Thanks.
Thank you. Are there any questions for any of the ex officios? If not, thank you all. By the way, Mr. Tart, can I ask you to try and send to me or the rest of the, well, actually, if you send it to the executive director or general counsel, a 1 or 2 paragraph on what the criteria are for funds from either of the revolving loan funds. I'll distribute something like that to my, in my newsletter to my constituents. The others may wish to do the same. So if you can just send us not long, it's got to be like a paragraph that says, this is what we do. This is the kind of projects we fund. If you have further interest, contact. So if you do it 3 paragraphs, nobody will read it. Trust me. I know how to keep it short. So last, we have completed the agenda. Before we're done, Luck, do you have anything else you would like to say?
No, I will, I guess.
Hang around for 2 minutes so I can visit with you. And again, I'll repeat what I say, that Commissioner, Treasurer Petronis is truly fortunate to have you. Is there anything else to come in front of the, if not, we're 2 minutes late, it's 12:02. I like ending my meetings on time. Show the meeting adjourned.
We doing a photo op?
Photo?
Yes.